Hey guys, so this video is going to show you how to share modules and basically all of your course content from one course to another, as well as sharing that content teacher to teacher. Before I get started, I want to make it clear that using this method, you need to make sure that anytime you are editing material, if you are planning on sharing that material with another course, you need to be sure you're editing in the same place. So what I mean by that is I am going to always be editing material in my sandbox. And that sandbox is where I'm going to import all of my material from. You could also choose like your first period or your second period. What I want to say is you need to be consistent. You cannot choose to edit things in your first period and share them and then decide to edit things in your second period and then share them if those are the same course, because then it's going to start making duplicates. So I just want to make that clear. Always make sure you're always choosing the same exact course every time to edit. So Dia and I are sharing a sandbox, and here's our sandbox. And this is allowing us both to be able to, I'm just removing this so that I can show you how I'm adding these later. Sorry about that. This is allowing us both to be editing the content and both be importing it to our separate classes. If you want to add somebody to your sandbox, you can go to People, and you can add people, add teacher as a teacher, and that's what she did for me. That's how I can see her sandbox. So we have this module 1, lesson 1, and this is a page, and this page has a discussion link in it and an assignment link in it. So what I was struggling with just sharing by pages is those links were not copying over like I wanted to, but in this method it will. So if I want to take my first period and I want that module to be copied over, you can see that right now that module is not here. This module 1 is the FLVS content. That module is not there. So I'm going to click Import Existing Content, and I'm going to copy a Canvas course. And I want to copy from Dia's Sandbox. Remember, that's where we made the content. You can choose to copy all content, or you can select specific content. I'm going to select specific content and click Import. And you'll see down here, it's asking me to select what content I want to pick. So if I'm looking, I know for sure I want to import the module. I also know for sure that I know that this one homework is part of that module. And I also know that this discussion board is part of that module. That is going to help my links not to break. So if I select that content, it's going to queue it up here. And it takes a moment. If you're only importing a couple things, it really shouldn't take that long. So if we go to modules, you should see that when I scroll to the bottom, that module is now available. If I click on it and I want to click on that bell work is there too. So that link is now perfectly fine in my other class. And if I go back to that module and I want to click on that assignment, you can see that that assignment is there and all the questions. So that's really nice. So let's go back to my sandbox. So here's my sandbox. Now let's say, I meant to add a page to that module. So I'm going to go ahead and add a page, and I'm just going to call it test. So we need to now make sure that this page is in our other courses. So I'm going to go back to first period, and I'm going to import existing content. I'm still going to remember copy Canvas course from Dia Sandbox, and I can select specific. I'm still going to click modules because that is going to make a difference here because I'm updating that first module, and then I know that I just want to update that test page. So it'll take a second to queue it up. But what's nice is what I was nervous about doing this is if I clicked module again, was it going to double the module? And this is what I'm saying. As long as you are consistent in where you're copying from, it will not double the module. Like it won't copy it twice. So if I go back to my modules, you can see that I still only have this module 1, Fundamentals of Algebra, but now I have that test page. Now, let's say I made an error on a specific discussion. So right now in my first period, the Bell-Work discussion says, what is an integer? Explain your answer. So if I wanted to add something to that, remember I'm going back to edit in my sandbox. I'm going to go to this discussion board and I'm going to edit and I'm going to say, please respond to 2 classmates. So I'm going to save that. And because it's an existing discussion board, when I go back to my first period, I only need to import that discussion board. So let's import existing content. Again, I'm choosing a Canvas course from Dia. And when I select the content, remember I edited the integer operations Bell-Work. So I'm just going to update that. And it should update in my module. So if I go to my module and I click my lesson 1 and I go to that integer operations Bell-Work, you'll see that now it says please respond to 2 classmates. The only thing that has been a little finicky about updates is when you go to quizzes and you create a quiz, the only one that's been really weird has been New Quizzes because it's like a separate platform. For some reason, when you edit, it doesn't always cross over nicely. So I would be sure that you are done with those before you import them to other classes. But Classic Quizzes has been fine. I've practiced with everything, with pages, with assignments, with Classic Quizzes, with discussion boards. Anytime that I edited it in the sandbox and I moved it over to another course, the updates went through perfectly. Now, another thing we tested today is if students have already started responding, then it is not going to update very well. So I would make sure if you're editing stuff, you move it over before your students start submitting or responding if it's a discussion board. I know that was a lot. I just wanted to make sure to show y'all that if you edit it, it does update as long as you import it again, and it doesn't make double. So if you import it, as long as it's from the same place, it will just update what's already there. It will just add the new stuff to your module. Go ahead and let me know if you have questions. Play around with it, practice, but remember, only be working in that one place. All right, bye guys.